Grand Raw Rising, kings and queens. Grab your coffee or your tea and enjoy some sacred healing space for all ages and reflections that are welcomed. No matter if you're at work, watching the kiddos at home, or even driving on the road, Rising with Raw is a beautiful sacred space to learn about the chakras as well as receive our collective card reading for the day. Along with this, we will have beautiful guests and members of the tribe come on to share their gifts, their practices, knowledge, and wisdom as we self-empower and become aware of who we are as we go forth by day.
Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian.
A rebel who went searching for treasures in his soul, fishing for gold. I found a key to unlock the door to my mind's gate, hidden with some hieroglyphs. Told me about my future and my past, and that I should get. Till I work it and get up off my ass. I'm on the path to move the masses. To spiritual tactics, so masters, you bastards, ready to do classes.
Grand day, everybody. Welcome to this Monday edition of Rising with Raw to kick off the week. And in this edition of Rising with Raw, our collective card reading from the Lemuria deck talks about unraveling our gifts, stepping forward and taking a leap when it comes to sharing our passions, sharing our gifts, and sharing our services for the collective, and knowing that we are supported and that we can utilize community spaces as well as other sacred spaces to be able to practice as well as highlight and become aware of what it is that we would like to shine into this world. Along with this, we then go over our chakra of the day, the solar plexus chakra. And to help complement our activation as well as stepping into our solar plexus power, we have our royal guest of the episode, Sara Broadhead from Arizona, as she joins us to talk about beautiful golden nuggets from her own experiences and any knowledge regarding creating your own at-home herbal natural remedies from herbs. We touch on many different beautiful herbs that you could utilize in your everyday home, as well as some specifics about ADHD syrup, as well as immune system boosting.
Keeps areas free from infection while healing. Uses a salve or a poultice. Great for rashes, burns.
Enjoy the episode. Feel free to leave your feedback or anything that you'd like to reflect upon or that you got downloaded during this video.
For nourishing and cleansing the lymphatic system, which is your glands.
If you are someone that would like to be a guest
And it also helps to
on Rising with Raw,
the body. So it's also wonderful for
you may direct message me, Marcus
moving
Crystolite,
out, the stagnation.
to set up an
Because,
episode.
the lymph system doesn't have its own pump.
I'll share.
So by walking and doing movement, that's how you clear out your lymphatic system.
Grand day, grand rising, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tapping in and rising together today on this Rising with Ra as we kick off our week on this wonderful Monday. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that are entering this space. And thank you to all those that have continued to support, to be a part of these Rising with Ra spaces. And thank you for being you. Thank you for being here on this planet. Thank you for taking on this incarnation. And thank you for shining your light. My name is Marcus, and I also go by Crystalite, and I'm your sacred host and bearer of this space on Rising with Ra. And on this episode of Rising with Ra, we'll be exploring our chakra of the day, which will be the solar plexus chakra. And we will also be going over our collective card reading of the day. And I'll be pulling from the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck. Along with this, we will also be having a royal guest joining us on this episode of Rising with Ra. And this royal guest is a divine sister in the community who is based out of Arizona. And she has been on a journey. She has been on a journey with herbal remedies, as well as other natural remedies as well. And she has been passionately crafting and creating different home remedies, all plant-based and organic, herbal-based. And she has found many successes through the creating of these remedies and has seen many benefits take place, not only for herself, but for those around her that have been open to trying and experimenting with her herbal remedies as well. So here today we're going to have our royal guest of the space, and her name is Sara Broadhead, and she will be coming on to share some tips, any knowledge or wisdom that she has regarding creating your own herbal remedies at home, and the many different functions and ways out of the infinite, if not boundless amount of ways that you can utilize your own organic herbal remedies at home. So that'll be here in a moment after our collective reading, as well as our chakra education. We will have our royal guest, Sara Broadhead, join us as she will give us some tips, knowledge, and wisdom, as well as a little bit of her story when it comes to herbal remedies. And hydration check, this reminder of drinking clean water throughout the day and keeping your being hydrated. All right, so I don't really have many reminders as we kick off. This week we only had a beautiful weekend of some sacred spaces that took place. Saturday we had the meditation space, which was really beautiful. We went over abundance and fortune. So we tapped into some of the mechanics of manifestation as well as abundance. And we also did some reflecting, clearing of any blockages surrounding our abundance and manifestation abilities. And after that, we had a Sacred Kingdom tribe meeting, which went really well. About 7 of us in the tribe got to meet each other, connect, and get to know each other a little bit more. And there'll be plenty more to come if you're somebody that would like to connect with conscious community worldwide and be able to support as well as receive support from other conscious minds. And then yesterday on Sunday, we had the first Crystal Healing 101 class, and that is now fully recorded and ready to go. So for anybody out there that would like to purchase the first class for Crystal Healing 101, which is going over the function, fundamentals, and science behind crystals and how they work, you can now purchase that recording for $33 USD. Just direct message me and I will email you over the first recording from the Crystal Healing 101 classes that is now available to you. And you can also message me if you have any questions around what all is entailed with that class and anything else surrounding it. And then I'll have the second Crystal Healing 101 class coming up on the 11th, this Saturday, on 11/11. And that class will be talking about crystal grids, as well as consciously utilizing your crystals in your home space and in other spaces consciously. Grand Day, it's Marcus Crystallite. I have the pleasure to let you know that you may now purchase Crystal Healing 101, Class Number 1, Fundamentals, Function, and Science behind crystals. This recording is now available for you to purchase at $33 USD. Just direct message me, Marcus Crystallite, to receive your recording today of Class 1.
You know, I'm really excited about sharing the Crystal Kingdom with all of you guys. And I'm really going to go in depth here. And it's going to seem like it's some far out there knowledge. It's going to seem a little maybe too deep for you to understand. But when I explain all of this, you know, I'm going to correlate it and explain it in a way that makes it as simple as it's meant to be to understand. And it's really all simple when it comes down to it. And I'm just going to guide us through this. And we're going to start with going through the energetic and metaphysical side of crystals, you know, where they are when it comes to the universe and their purpose. And then we'll hop into the reasons why they've been used throughout history and the different ways they do what they do according to their energy, their color, their vibration, things of that nature. And then I'll dive us into how to heal our 7 chakras with the crystals and correlate them with colors, frequency, and even musical notes as well. So right here, we're looking at the sacred text of the Kabbalion.
All right, welcome in everybody, welcome in, grand day. So we're about to kick off with our collective card reading of the day, and it's going to be from the Beyond Lemuria deck. And then we'll be covering briefly the solar plexus chakra, and then we'll be introducing and opening the space up for our royal guest today to talk about herbal remedies and creating them at home, Sara Broadhead. Alrighty, so we have 2 cards today, and our first card is Unique Gifts. Unique Gifts. So I'm hearing with this card, Unique Gifts, is that a lot of us are coming online. When I say coming online, as in there's parts of our DNA and our being that are kind of waking up and becoming active that we haven't necessarily felt much in this human life. And with that comes maybe sometimes a little bit of confusion, or it could come with a space of needing to adjust and become familiar with this upgrade or this shift that is taking place within our being. But remember that these shifts are helping us move towards the being that we wish to have as we continue forward. And sometimes that takes purging out of old. It's breaking old patterns and limited beliefs within our mind. And sometimes it's also coming into spaces with community and coming into safe spaces with others where we're able to start unpackaging our gifts, start practicing our gifts, as well as be able to be vulnerable, express, and receive wisdom and knowledge from others to help our gifts come to the forefront and shine in our pathway. So I'm also hearing find ways to practice. So finding ways to practice your gifts, finding a way to practice your intuition and your psychic abilities, utilize community spaces, reach out to those that are intentionally opening up spaces for this, such as myself. I have the Sacred Kingdom community. It's free, donation based. It's on Discord. And it's a beautiful sacred space for community where we're all able to come together in a safe, inner child's free, conscious, compassionate space. And it's open. The community's open to you. All you have to do is reach out to me, and then we'll go over the boundaries and the intentions of the community and what all is entailed for you to receive and be a part of. But yes, Unique Gifts is our first card. And I'm going to go ahead and actually briefly read out the book as well. It's an exciting time to be alive right now, It's a really exciting time. As long as we continue to, try a little bit. As in, try to shine a little bit. Try to share our gifts a little bit. Alright, so divinatory meaning. What makes you unique? Any quirks that you feel are shortcomings could be the key to your superpowers. Look for the positive sides of your oddities and traits. How would you like to spend more time? Are there things you would like to try or feel a pull to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know how transformational they may be. I love that. So yeah, don't be afraid to try new things, especially now in this time that we're in, where you're really being supported and pushed to take that step a little bit. Take a leap of faith and see what you can do with your co-creative abilities. See what you can do with your art and your creations and your services that you like to provide or would like to provide. And sometimes it could look like reaching out to friends and family and maybe practicing with them, or sharing whatever it is that you want to share with them so they can experience it and give you feedback and anything that could be helpful regarding your awareness of your capabilities. And I'm also hearing Also know that there's no limit to how much you can mix and match what you're experimenting with and what you're experiencing. I'm also hearing that there's nothing to lose by trying new things. And if those new things don't resonate for you, you can always let them go and move on and continue on with your life. And lastly, is think about the ways that you can really start integrating your passions into different spaces. Whether it's going to vend at a market, or it is going to a health and wellness facility or a crystal shop and sharing your readings, sharing your services. There are many different ways to practice and give yourself experience when it comes to your passions. So that's our first card, Unique Gifts. And our second card is Radical Expansion. Radical Expansion. So, radical expansion. It is time for expansion. You can be as big as your energy wants to be. Stop and consider anything that is holding you back. This card is the permission slip that allows you to let go of limiting stories and take up all the space you need. Have fun unleashing who you are. As bold and radical as some of your ideas and offerings might be, who is to say they are not what the world is waiting for, what the world wants? Take note of any judgment of authentic expression towards yourself or others. Be mindful that creatively exploring unrefined expression may be what is needed right now. Remember to center yourself in your heart and be the masterpiece your soul always wanted to be. Wonderful message. There's not really much for me to say, really going off of this, especially with what we just touched on with the first card. Wow. Yeah, this is a really supportive time to start having fun exploring new possibilities of your gifts, your passions, and your services. And also remember your strategies, remember your planning, and remember your disciplines. You don't need to go fully extreme and all in on something. For example, say you want to step away from your 9-to-5 job and you'd like to go into something of service for the collective and holistically. You don't have to go straight polarization of, oh, okay, I'm just gonna quit my matrix job and just raw dog through life and try to start serving. Now, does that really seem ideal to do? Like, honestly. Or does that sound a little extreme and maybe not the best way to go about it? Don't get me wrong, you can manifest this pathway. But I'm trying to think ideally as the average human in this world. There's strategies and ways that we can go about these transitions and these changes. And find that for yourself. Find that balance. And if you need to wing yourself off of it until you're ready to be fully independent, with your services or whatever it may be, then that's okay. You know, me personally right now, I still go do delivering pizza. I go a few days a week. I completely make my schedule every week, and it's in my control. Now, that's something that I earned and I built myself up to with the relationship that I have with the franchise family that owns the place. But my point is you can still find a balance of continuing to build your independent financial path or your independent entrepreneurship, but also having the balance and safety of a job or whatever it may be that is giving you financial stability as well as other stability. And know that's okay. It is okay to take steps to patiently work your way into your independent entrepreneurship. So that's just an example of how we can take steps with things, honor our process, and not try to dive into polarization of I have to do one or the other, or else, I'm not supporting my spiritual path, or I'm not being on my highest timeline. Your highest timeline is going to be what is most balanced for you right now, and what is supporting your well-being to be your best version. So this is also something you can tie in with, sharing your services or your gifts, is you don't have to go all in right away with doing that. You can find ways to gradually practice, to gradually build up experience with your friends, with your family, with community, with the online community. And with that, work your way into feeling comfortable, work your way with feeling aligned and resonant, to then know that you're ready to serve your passion or to serve your purpose for the collective. And that's one of the main emphases of the Sacred Kingdom community that I host on Discord online, is to help each other highlight each other's gifts, give each other spaces in private within the community to practice, to feel more comfortable and get more aligned and integrated into the mission and purpose that we wish to bring forth. So if you're someone that would like to be a part of this type of conscious community and you want to connect and be able to share and receive knowledge and information, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to sit with you, go over the layout of the community, the boundaries, and see if everything resonates to allow you to be a part of the space. All right, so that's our collective reading of the day. We got unique gifts, and we have radical expansion. So now we're going to go ahead and move on over into the education of our chakra of the day. And our chakra of the day is going to be the solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra, for everybody out there, it is the color yellow. And the hertz frequency for sound healing is 528. The physical organs of this chakra is the stomach, the intestines, the gallbladder, the liver, the pancreas, and the spleen. And the characteristics that it brings into our human life is where we access willpower and inner strength. It is where we hold confidence, self-esteem. It is home to our gut instinct, or second brain as we call it. It is also the main center for the ego. And then self-control and decision-making. Now, identifying blockages. Blockages in the solar plexus chakra can manifest into ways like this: judgment and criticizing, low self-esteem, loss of will to live or act, digestive issues, ulcers, hypoglycemia, and diabetes, gut pains, quitting quickly on projects or actions, identifying by the world on our worth, dependency on others to determine who you are, and feeling powerless over life. These are all ways of having a blocked solar plexus chakra. Overactivations in the chakra can look like egotistical and being full of the self, being demanding of others, being possessive, and being overtly competitive and ambitious. Foods and herbs for the solar plexus to activate it: lemons, bananas, pineapple, and squash, sunflower, dandelion, rice, oats, quinoa, and flax. And then you have milk thistle, ginger, turmeric, mint, lemon balm, and fennel. And of course, you can drink these all as herbal teas. Alright, and then lastly we have crystals that you can use directly for the solar plexus. And these are just some. There's of course a lot more out there. You have tiger's eye, citrine, sunstone, yellow jasper, calcite, fire opal, gold obsidian, yellow Smithsonian, yellow sapphire, peridot, as well as brucite. And this here is my brucite stone. Very good for activating uplifting energy and confidence. Alright, so that's our chakra of the day, the solar plexus chakra, for everybody out there. And if you're just joining and tapping in, you guys can catch the collective card reading of the day on the replay or on the YouTube version, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, my YouTube channel, and the episode will be out later today. Along with this, I just did a solar plexus education. And now we are going to be joined by our royal guest of this episode to talk about herbal remedies and creating our own at home. We are going to be joined by our royal guest. just a moment, we will be joined by Sara. And she'll be our royal guest today. There she is.
Hello. Grand day to you. Grand day to everybody that's here.
Grand day. Good to see you. And thank you for joining us today on Rising with Ra to be our royal guest.
Yeah, sure. Should I put a cool trippy filter on just like you have?
If
Ooh.
you would like to.
Maybe I'll just leave it like this because I want people to be able to see what I'm doing here. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say just make sure you're not kind of blocking out, whatever it is you want people to see.
Yeah.
But welcome, and how are you this rising?
I am good. I'm very excited about this topic. So I'm just like nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much to say.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about, way more than we can talk about here today. But I would be happy to come back if anybody else is interested. This is a big topic, so it's still very important also, I believe, in my opinion,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a great magnitude of independency and self-empowerment that comes with, the capability of creating your own remedies and being able to nurture your own being back to balance and a wellness state.
Yeah.
I could go on for days about, the benefits of that and the way that would really change the trajectory of the type of reality that you're living and that you're manifesting for your own being and others. But yeah, Sara, I know you're out of Arizona. If you want to speak on like where at in Arizona and anything about, your story regarding how you got into this passion.
Oh, grand day, grand rising, everybody. Sorry.
That you've had, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's all good.
Well, everybody, we're talking about herbs today, and back to what you were saying a minute ago. Yeah, I think it's really kind of, in my opinion, like in this day and age, an ultimate to the system if you heal yourself, because we've been told we can't, and it's totally not true. We can totally heal ourselves a lot easier than we've been led to believe too, And so I have some really cool experiences within the past 6 months. Matter of fact, I could share that are proof in the pudding, basically, that this stuff really works. And I've got tons. I've got about 40 or 50 different herbs and tinctures and things I've made and gathered today for this. So we could go anywhere with this. If anybody's watching and has questions, on recommendations, on what I would do for my own health in your situation, I would tell you what I would do in my situation for myself. And of course, I'm not a medical doctor, so I never give medical advice, but we can always chit chat, right? So if you're interested in something, put it in the question box or in the comments or something. But yeah, no, herbs are amazing. So my story basically started when I was like 17 or so. And I had a horrible reaction to antibiotics. And I almost choked on my tongue and all that stuff, right? So that led me to a naturopathic doctor. And that led me to herbs and homeopathy and things that are way more natural, and I found that they work equally as well. You just have to have faith in them and know that they do. And there's been plenty of research done. 76% of pharmaceuticals actually come from herbs. So that's pretty interesting, right? Anyway, if you have the right herb for the right situation, you can fix it. And so basically, I went to my homeopathic doctor and he helped me out. And he would prescribe an herb for me or something like that, and I would do it, you know. It all started basically when I started getting colds and stuff, in high school and in my early 20s. What I would do is I would take echinacea. Most people have heard of echinacea. Echinacea has been dubbed the poor man's penicillin. So this stuff, if you take it right away when you start to feel like, ooh, it'll start to work immediately. I have some information and some notes I can read about echinacea, but just as far as my story goes, this is one of the few things that I started with, was echinacea, and I think elderberry zinc lozenges, which is elderberry, which is antiviral, and then also lavender essential oil. And so those are the three things that got me like interested into all this stuff, And when I started learning more and more, it was just so comfortable to me and like amazing. Like, holy heck, one herb has a list like this of stuff it can help. Just one. And there's like, how many? Tons, right? So, anything we talk about here today is always a suggestion because there's more ways to get to a room than just one. For example, if you're not really sure, but you're really interested in doing herbs, what you could do is you could go to like a natural health food store or something like that, and you can get a product like this. This is called a wellness formula. This is actually what I used recently in my own story to heal an extreme infection I had on my leg. Anyway, yeah, so then it kind of graduated to stuff like this. This is from Sprouts. You can go to natural grocers. There's a lot of different things you can do. This is very common. People have seen this one. This is elderberry syrup. We can talk about how to make them and all this stuff, but this is where you can just go to the store and get it right here, right now, This is also very effective for cold and flu season, right? So this is how I basically started, and then as time went on, I just really wanted to know more about all the rest of the herbs and what else it can do and how else I could help, and it just became a passion of mine, basically. And so I've taken many classes now for different types of herbal certification, and I'm really I'm at the point right now, to be honest, where I'd like to get rid of my 3D gig, and do this. I'm so I'm working on that. We're doing the little transition thing slowly but surely. It's interesting that the card was what it was today, because I resonate pretty deeply with that. For sure,
Yeah, absolutely. I know from my own experience, it's quite the process of transitioning, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about rushing myself and being patient, and also not going like extreme into the polarities of, going all in on this and going all out on that, and then deciding to like completely stop the matrix stuff and then all that. There's definitely like a delicate process to be honored. And
Okay, so yeah, not to interrupt, but to add what you want to add to what you're saying there, you're totally right. Like, there's been a couple times where I didn't catch it in time, or it was really bad, or whatever, and I did go get a Z-Pack. That's the only one I can take that doesn't make me feel really, really bad. I can't take any kind of Xylins, mycins, nothing like that. It makes me feel awful. So the only one I will be honest, I've taken probably 4 of those in the past 10 years.
and what are those exactly?
There's zithromycin. They're a really strong antibiotic, I guess. But I have reactions to pretty much all the rest of them. Like, I can't take amoxicillin, penicillin. I can take augmentin, but it really makes my stomach feel bad. Okay. And I can't take any clindamycin, erythromycin, the mycin family. They also have, they make me feel really awful. They make me feel like I have a constant battle with blood sugar. So, you know, disoriented and dizzy and nauseous, and I just don't want to go through that to get better. I'd rather use herbs, something more natural and gentle, you know? So, yeah, I'm not trying to be polarizing when I say that, but there's also integrative medicine too. There's lots of studies that show that using herbs with pharmaceuticals significantly helps the results. So, that's also a really beautiful thing too that would be great to put into our hospitals, for sure. That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, let's see. I have so many things in front of me here. I have a little list here. I have a top 10 herbs list that would be good for a medicine chest. So I thought maybe we could talk about that today. I'm going to have to read off my paper a little bit, but that's okay, I think, right?
Nope, it's not okay.
Okay, so, well, how about this? Let me just pause myself real quick and I'll show you guys a couple things I've made myself. Just from scratch, no recipe. So recently I had a really bad burn. August 12th, I got a 3rd-degree burn all down my leg. I can show you the scar right now. It looks beautiful now, but it was horrible. I mean, it was bad. I had hot grease pour down my leg, and it was about this big. Covered my whole top of my leg. And
Yeah,
you saw the pictures, right? And I didn't even show the ones that were really, really bad. Okay, I'm just saying that. So if you thought what you saw was gross. Anyway, so basically, long story shorter, here, I'll just show you real quick. It's all if you can see, but I'll kind of here. Basically, it was from here down to here. It was on my whole top of my leg. So I most definitely knew that I needed to go to the hospital. And I knew they were probably going to check me in, right? And I'm not playing the poor me story. I'm just saying this is the truth. So I thought about it for a minute and played it out in my head. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not going to eat that food. I'm going to figure out a way to get food there. Right? And then secondly, who's going to watch my son? I'm a single mom. The state's not going to watch my son. So who's going to watch my son if I check myself in? My family's all the way across the country, and right? So anyway, I decided, okay, I'm not going to do that. Because if I did go there, they would suggest I check myself in, and then I would say, no, I can't. And I would leave against medical advice, and I'd have to pay for the stuff myself. So I said, okay, I'm just going to do this myself, and I feel like if I can't do this myself, I'll then go. I stopped myself from having that reaction. But that takes a lot of faith, right? Anyway, so I did. And so the burn started out, and I used aloe vera, honey, and lavender essential oil, and mixed it together into a paste and slathered it on my leg, and then wrapped it with bandages real loosely, okay? And then when the scab fully made a full scab and then started to come off, I learned that there's a big debate online about, okay, well, should you take the skin off or not? Well, anyway, I was in the shower one day and some of the skin came off, and so I saw that and I helped it with the wand and I kind of just showered some more of the skin down the drain. Well, I got a staph infection from the water. That was 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 4 p.m. that day, boy, this thing felt tight. It was already painful, but it felt tight, like, oh my gosh. And I thought, oh, it must be the chlorine in the water or something. And then by 4 p.m., I looked down and I thought, gosh, and there was a long lump here on the side of it, and I was like, And then I saw kind of a light pink hue around it, and I was like, that's not right. And so I took some pictures and sent it to my sister. She's a nurse, and I asked her, and she's like, yeah, that's infected. I'm like, OMG. So I had to go through the whole herbal antibacterial route. So I have these things that I took. This is an internal antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. I can read you the list. It's fantastic. This one's also by a brand called Purium. It says Virusure, but it has inside of it, spirulina, neem, olive leaf. Olive leaf is really good. Oregano oil. This is if poop should ever hit the fan, you need to have oregano oil in your life. This will help you heal anything. So these are the herbs that I turn to. And what I did was I put them in gel caps, and I even got some Neosporin, and I dropped some of this into my Neosporin and put it on my leg until I could find a better solution, right? And it worked. 3 days later, well, I couldn't walk for 3 days, to be honest. I was infected. But after intense taking all of this stuff, and I could write it down, you could DM me if you want me to tell you exactly what I did. But the point is that in 3 to 4 days, the majority of that infection was gone. So then I applied topically tea tree oil, along with the neem and the oregano oil on the top. We had like a triple antibiotic for my leg, and it worked. I took the stuff and I put it on top, and sure enough, that did the trick. The thing about herbs is you have to make sure to do them quickly and every 2 hours. If you're taking them internally, every 2 hours. Most pills are like every 6 to 8 to 12 hours. And with herbs, that won't be sufficient. You got to do it every 2 hours. They're a little more gentle, like I was saying. So you need a little bit more often, But so I went through the whole phase with this burn and had an infection going. Okay, so then I started doing research on what could heal it once the infection was away. Okay, and I made a beautiful burn cream here. And this stuff, I had someone use it over the weekend and they were raving about it. So it does work really well. And I did a lot of research into this. So this is my burn and healing salve, and it has comfrey root, lemon balm, calendula, and then it's in like a base of vitamin E, coconut oil, and olive oil mixture. Okay, and then I kind of put that into a crock pot overnight and let it just do its thing, mix together. And then I strained it, and then I added some frankincense oil for the skin, and some tea tree, which is also antibacterial. And so, comfrey is very well known for healing tissue. It, it does something with the body and allows it to mend itself very easily. So it's really good for, wounds or, burns or. And so what I did was I had this mixture of this oil and then the herbs, and I kept it like an oil. And I just kept it protected and not cold, but I kept it protected and clean. And sorry, my kitty's messing with the cord. Oops. Okay, and I kept it like an oil while this was healing, and just kind of put it into the wound and put it into the tissue and then wrapped it back up. And then when it finally all healed is when I actually added beeswax to make it this balm type. So now that the skin is not open, I have it as a balm. See, but so it has the comfrey root, comfrey leaf in there, lemon balm, which is really good. It's really good for pain. It helps with nerves. I believe it's antibacterial as well. The calendula, matter of fact, I could use my paper right here. This is a wound healer for swollen glands, ulcers, or digestive complaints. It pulls tissues together to expedite healing. Antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial. Keeps areas free from infection while healing. Uses a salve or a poultice. Great for rashes, burns, and dry skin. Internally in teas or tinctures for digestive issues such as ulcers, menstrual cramps, indigestion, or diarrhea. One of the best herbs for nourishing and cleansing the lymphatic system, which is your glands, And it also helps to boost immunity with the body. So it's also wonderful for treating swollen glands by moving out, the stagnation. Because our lymph system doesn't have its own pump. So by walking and doing movement, that's how you clear out your lymphatic system, So it's a really good tea to help with that process, for sure. And here's what it looks like in person. It's a yellow flower. It's I think it's a cousin to the marigolds. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that here. It's a yellow flower. So, yeah, anyway. This is one of the ingredients I used in here as well, but I do love tea. Calendula tea is really nice. So anyway, yeah. And this stuff, I continue to put it on my leg. And everybody who sees my leg is like, wow, it looks amazing. Matter of fact, I ended up, and I did go to the Arizona Burn Clinic downtown in Phoenix at week 3 because I ran into an issue where On the burn, it was 2nd degree except for 2 spots, which was 3rd degree. And so there was one on my knee there where I couldn't figure out how to heal it, right? And so I went at week 3 just to make sure, just to see what they wanted to say, you know? And I told them the whole entire story, and they were like, wow, you did a really great job. And I'm like, well, thank you. So it was really amazing. And matter of fact, the nurse's assistant, or physician assistant, I think she is anyway, she at the end, she goes, hey, do you mind telling me about a few different herbs that you use? Because I'm really interested to know about that. She goes, we use Manuka honey here at the hospital, but I sure would love to try some of that oregano oil. And I was like, absolutely, you should go look at it. It's such good stuff. And I gave her some information and she wrote it down, and it was really cool. Anyway, yeah, that's a cool little story, you know. That's one thing I've made recently is this burn cream here. Let's see, there's all kinds of other stuff too. Basically,
that you got to, I was just saying, I think that's incredible too that you got to not only like see, you know, how to successfully do that for yourself, but you also got to go into a professional setting and show them, you know, a little more enlightenment and a little bit about the alternative healing side of things.
Yeah, I was totally prepared for, and I did get when I got there. I was prepared for it. I was prepared for it. I knew it was going to happen. I was like, okay, I'm going to bring information. I'll even print out information and bring it with, you know. But here's the thing. I was scared, right? I didn't make the decision in fear. I made it in faith. Faith that I knew that my information I was going to find and my knowledge was going to get me through this.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And that, all you got to do is have faith in life in general, but I mean, you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Have faith it's going to work. Don't be like, well, this might work. No, well, don't say that, because then it might work. If you say this is going to work, and if this does it, I'm going to find the right thing that does, that will work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because whether you say you can or whether you say you can't, either way you're going to be right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hurt to try.
Yeah. Right.
Especially if you know the potential outcome that could take place.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay, now the next thing that we could talk about here, this one, well, this is a half project. This one's a good one to talk about. This is a chamomile glycerin I made here, and this is from my son, I took some this morning because I was a little excited to be here. Anyway, chamomile is great. Chamomile, most people know what it is. It's like a little tiny flower. A lot of people have had chamomile tea. It's yummy. It's delicious. This is really good for irritability, sleep issues. It calms people down, basically. It's good for cold and flu, for digestion. It's really good for, like, tummy upsets. If your tummy doesn't feel so good, try some chamomile, maybe mixed with some ginger. You can find this in your refrigerator, right? Or if you have chamomile tea, you can put some ginger into your chamomile tea, and that would help your stomach. That would be a good option, right? But I made this one for my son, and I made it into a glycerate. So you can use herbs in different ways. You can make teas. You can take capsules. Okay. You can make a thing called a tincture, or you can make a thing called a glycerate. Okay. Now a tincture is made with like a menstruum, basically is what it's called, and so you could use apple cider vinegar. You could use like alcohol, like a vodka, or you could even use something like this. You can use whiskey if you want to make a cough medicine, and this has to be over a certain percentage. So typically I use vodka or vegetable glycerin for kids, okay, or sensitive people. But this isn't enough alcohol related to like affect you, you know, but just in case you really just don't want to do that, you can always use apple cider vinegar, or you could use something like this, which is the glycerin. So those are, you know, a little more gentle. But anyway, so I've made all kinds of stuff. This chamomile is really great for ADHD kids. This is like, so what you do is you put it like in a little thing of juice. Just give a kid a little cup of juice, and then put some of this in there and drop it in. And then about 30, 45 minutes later, you'll notice the effects. It's like having a cup of tea, basically, but it's quick and easy and concentrated. So no matter which way you look at it, you know, for whichever use you're going to use it for, you can do other things besides just tea. Like, for example, a tea is awesome, right? I love to have a cup of tea. It's so nice and relaxing, you know. But sometimes you don't have time, right? So the next solution would be to use a concentrate like this. That way you can just put it into little, like your morning juice or your smoothie or something. Boom, you're done. You know, you got it. Versus sitting down and brewing the water and steeping the water, you know, brewing, steeping, all that stuff. You know, it's a little faster, but either way is both, you know, they both work well, so.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with chamomile, and I'm also familiar with valerian root and alpha, which I believe are great herbs as well for relaxation.
Yes. You know, I love valerian too. The fresher the valerian, the more odorous it is. You know, it has an odor to it. And so you have to be okay with that odor, right? You know, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, you know. Let me read this little bit here about chamomile, since we're still talking about the chamomile and stuff, you know. It's a relaxant. It's a nervine, basically. And it's for irritability, sleep issues, cold, flu, and digestion. An effective tea or extract to reduce inflammation in the digestive system, spasms, gastric reflux, nervous stomach, anxiety, calms nausea, teething pain, colic for babies, irritability, and night terrors. This is safe for babies. So basically, even if you have an infant who is having troubles and you're breastfeeding, have some tea. Give it to the baby through your breast milk. You don't have to give the baby the herb itself. You can take the herb and make sure before you do that to double check, because every single herb has different precautions. Okay, I think chamomile is safe for mothers and babies and breastfeeding, but some are not. So you always want to go to your browser, ask your doctor, do your research before you do any of this, right? But I mean, you know, in this situation, yes, chamomile is good and safe for children. So some are not, you know, beware. Side note. Yeah, anyway, so like I was saying earlier, you know, I can tell you all about all this different stuff I've made. Let's quickly just go over the top 10 herbs for a home medicine test. I'll just give a quick highlighting here of them. We did calendula. Second one, cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is amazing. Have you heard about cayenne pepper?
So I'm familiar with it like as a spice, but I'm actually not too familiar with it as in like medicinally using it.
Well, I'm getting more familiar with it, but apparently this stuff is like amazing, you know. Recently, okay, let's say Saturday morning, I woke up, all of a sudden my nose just out of the blue was like stuffy and that little drip. And I was like, no, not today. So what I did was I took some cayenne pepper and some ginger from my spice cabinet. This is in the fridge. From the spice cabinet. And I got a wooden spoon and I mixed it with some honey. So it was 2 a.m. But I was like, no, not today. This is not happening. So I got some honey in a spoon. Now, the reason why I say a wooden spoon is because you must remember to never use metal on honey. That will deactivate the enzymes in the honey. So I'll get a wooden spoon or plastic, that'd be okay too, and put some honey in it. And then what I did was I just took out of my cabinet, you know, my spice cabinet, and I went like this and put some in. Okay, and then I just took some of this, you might have powdered ginger, that'd be fine too. But I had some of this, you know, and then I just squeezed some in and I just mixed it up. And it was little spicy, but I really couldn't taste the whole lot at that moment. So I just quickly ate it down and then drank some water and had a little bit of bread. And, okay. And I went back to bed, and I swear to you, for real, I woke up fine. I mean, I don't sound perfect right now, but I'm working on it, But I knocked it in its butt. So back to what I said a long time ago, if you just start right when you feel symptoms of any kind, that's when you're going to win. You got to do it right away. Can't stall, because otherwise you're going to give it chances to, get bigger and more, So anyway, and then of course this is local honey too. So they always recommend, if you can, to try to source local honey, because it has the local pollen and stuff to help you with your own allergies. So I got some local honey here to mix it with. So yeah, that's something I did with the cayenne pepper recently here. Pretty cool. As far as what it says, I mean, there's so much information on cayenne pepper. Barbara, what's her name? She's one of my people. I forget her name. She talks all about cayenne pepper. Let's see here. It says, pain, poor circulation, external bleeding. Parts used is the fruit or the pepper. It's high in vitamin C. It's an herbal pain reliever. Cayenne has a heart protective quality that can boost the immune system and will even stop bleeding from a cut or a wound. Matter of fact, quick remedy, 2 ways to use cayenne. You sprinkle it on a cut to help stop the bleeding if it won't stop. Or for a cold, add a pinch of cayenne to your ginger, lemon, and honey tea. Hey, there you go. To help warm things up and kick a cold virus in the booty. No, doesn't say in the booty. But it does say be careful if you have blood thinners, right? So, for example, you always want to go back to this again. You always want to make sure that what you're going to try is going to be safe if you're taking any kind of pharmaceuticals or medication. Now, if you go look it up, say, for example, you're looking up antidepressants. It says don't take St. John's wort. Well, that's because they're probably made from St. John's wort, and that would be too much St. John's wort. So, kind of the same thing goes, for everything in general, but just go double check. It's not going to interfere with something that you're currently taking. But this stuff here, for example, if someone's having a heart attack, this is true. And you can go look it up, even on Google. They'll tell you, which is amazing. But cayenne pepper will stop a heart attack. I mean, I don't know what the likelihood is you're going to have it in your purse at that time, or whatever, your pocket. But in theory, it would stop a heart attack. I mean, seriously, go look it up. True fact. So that makes you think, right? There's so many different uses for these herbs. It helps to lower blood pressure as well, it says. Helps to thin blood. Things like this sometimes might be better if you put a little drop of black pepper with them. Help activate them more, Anyway, so yeah, cayenne's a really great herb too. Spice herb, That's a good one to have in your medicine cabinet there. Worked well for me over the weekend, that's for sure. Let's see. We talked about the echinacea, right? A little bit. Let's go back to the echinacea for a minute, shall we?
Yeah, let's say we briefly touched on it, but we didn't go into detail.
Yeah. Oh, here, look. Yeah. Okay, echinacea. So the part that's used is the root. So basically when you use a root, like say for example you go to an herb shop, you're going to find herbs that are like loose leaves. Can't really see that. This is holy basil. They're loose leaves versus in a tea bag, right? In these, you just want to heat up some water and steep them. Turn the water off and then put the thing in. But with the root, you want to actually simmer it with the water as it's going. And then when it gets to the point, then either 5 minutes or just depending upon how thick it is, they're much more durable. And to get the medicinal value out, you want to put them into some really good, boiling water. So you don't do that with a leaf. You do that with a root. So if you're going to be making something with echinacea yourself, that's not already pre-made into like a tea bag or a mixture you can find already ready already. If you harvest it yourself or whatever, you're going to want to make sure you know, simmer it much longer than you would a typical tea to get the benefits out of it, you know? As far as like echinacea goes, the first time it was used that we know of was 1887, and it was probably used for thousands of years before that as well, but recorded, you know, as far as benefits and stuff like that. It's used like in the early stages of colds, sore throats, or cuts and wounds, topically, you know. You can use it in like the early stages of cold or flu to help prevent it. And it works great with elderberry. You may have seen elderberry in the stores. It's very similar. Anyway, let's see here. It treats sore throats and upper respiratory infections and effective against strep throat. Used topically on cuts, wounds, or infections will help the body ward off infections. Use a tincture in place of antiseptic sprays. Oh, that'd be cool. So you can take it and you can take something like this and spray it onto your wound or into your throat if you have an infection. You know, that would work too. Okay. Let's see here. Taking it internally and topically for boils and abscesses. It is antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial, and antifungal, and improves lymphatic movement. This herb works best with a high 1 drop per 5 pounds of body weight dose every 2 hours. So let's say you're 150 pounds or something, and so it's per every 5 pounds, you want to do 1 drop, right? So that would be 30 drops every 2 hours. But usually when you buy a tincture like this at a store, it will state on the back. So you'll know whether it's 20 drops, 30 drops. The bottle will tell you, right? So let's say you were interested in this and you have a Sprouts around you. Go to Sprouts, go to their, medicinal section, and ask them for where's your echinacea, or where's your elderberry, where's your oregano oil. And they'll tell you. You can take them home and try them out yourself, you know. Anyway, this is a really good one for my son. I like to do this in juice. When my son's got coughing or something going on, I give him some of this. And I'll even give him an elderberry gummy to go along with it. And I'll do it because he goes to school. So in the morning, afternoon, evening, before bed, 4 doses throughout the day. And of course, if he's homesick, it's a little more frequently, but if he's just not feeling that great, you can do it 4 times a day and still be effective, So, yeah. As far as I took this class 3 years ago. So, but I wrote aggravates COVID in late stages, but good with Omicron. So that's a long time ago. Yeah, so there's 2 different kinds of echinacea. There's Echinacea purpurea, Echinacea angustifolius. And angustifolius is stronger and basically better for colds or thick mucus. But I think the most common would be the purpurea. So, yeah, it's also really nice. And you can find it in like blends, herbal blends for like immunity and things like that. You'll find it's very common to be like with golden seal or something like that, So it's great.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
So what is one of your go-to mixtures or blends that you typically make for your immune system?
Typically? Okay. Well, if I notice something like in my body, you mean? Or maintenance?
So say because I know we're in the fall season going into winter, and I know a lot of people have mucus coming up and like throat issues and the nostrils, sinuses, all that stuff. What's typically your go-to when it comes to the transitional seasonings and stuff like that?
Well, okay. That's a long-winded answer too, but that's okay. What I would do is I would probably, if it was for me as an adult, I would start taking this wellness formula as soon as possible. And also some of this elderberry syrup with umkalubu and zinc. So zinc, magnesium, melatonin, they're all good antioxidants. And so I would take some of that with some vitamin C and some vitamin D and probably this syrup. That's probably what I would do. Because it's got the zinc and it's got that elderberry, which is really great. You don't know if it's a virus or a bacteria, right? So just take it. It should cover both, you know. I would do that. But then also, too, there's things like, you know, there's functional mushrooms. And I take these a lot, too. This is like a daily immune support formula I take. Because I do clean houses for a living, I take things like this quite a bit to keep myself staying strong, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I would be taking something like this, or, you know, going back to Purium again. They have really great products. They have a product called, I'm not trying to plug them, I'm just saying this is what I use, you know. But I could plug them. Purium's awesome. Anyway, they have a Super Amino 23, which helps replenish your amino acids, right? And then they have a Biome Medic, which helps your gut biome. And there's so much of your immunity that's in your gut. So it's nice to start with things like this as a basis, you know. And of course, I'm a big, huge fan of using like whole food vitamins versus synthetic vitamins. I just feel like they're easily more absorbed, you know, more useful. But anyway, yeah, I would do that. Now, if I had a cough, I probably wouldn't feel like making a blend at that moment, right? If I didn't have one pre-made, I would go to the herb store. And I have one here. It's called Deep Breath. And so it's a pre-made mixture, right? And it has elderberries, hibiscus, licorice, cinnamon, fennel, marshmallow, echinacea, slippery elm, ginger, campaign, parsley, cherry bark, cloves, and stevia.
Wow.
So it encompasses anything that it could possibly run across.
What a combo.
Yeah. So if you take this tea, you know, like say you make yourself a full pot, well, make sure to have your full cup done by every 2 hours or more. You know what I mean? Like, at the very most, you know. Anyway, yeah, it smells nice. So I'd probably get something like this. And then I would probably make my own blend for later. You know. But truthfully, let's go back to this real quick. Oregano oil. This stuff is the bomb diggity. Okay. I have personally healed MRSA on my chicken and MRSA on a human with this. And so oregano oil has a ton of bacteria, fungi, virus that it kills. It kills gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So it's really useful. That's why I say, you know, if poop would ever hit the fan, you'd want some. I even have some herb I can show you. You'd want to have some oregano on hand. Now, I'm not really sure, to be honest, how the tea would taste. It might be like a little. So what I would do in that situation is get some of this and have some oregano oil. It's super easy to make yourself. And then put it into capsules. And take the capsule. And that way you don't have to worry about because it's got a very strong odor. Yeah.
Taste.
Yeah. It's like that black seed oil. It's very strong in flavor and taste. That means it works, you know. But it's strong, all right. So that's why I would totally put it in a capsule, you know.
Oregano oil.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. All right. So let's see. Elderberry. This is probably, I think, my go-to for my son would be elderberry for sure. Did I already read that one to you? I don't think so. But this is the one most people are probably going to see in the store. And that's effective as well. But you go to Sprouts, they have one like this. And then you can buy them yourself, and we could actually do it live if people are interested, and we can make our own syrup. They're really pretty little, like, dried berries. So, yeah, anyway, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd love to have
This is
classes.
a lot of information, so, huh?
I'd love to have classes.
Yeah. This was a really great class I took, I mean, we've been talking for how long now, and I've only went over, like, technically 6 herbs.
Yeah.
These things are amazing, it's like, you look at one herb and you study it, and it's like, gosh, I can't believe the world doesn't know about this. It's so amazing, like, the world's got to find out.
It's like it's like a hidden world
Yeah.
within the world that has been here since the foundation of creation, basically.
Yeah.
And we're just like building over top of it and like continuing to seek and look for other things and like solutions and like all these different things outside of us and artificially making things and synthetically making things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all here on the earth, growing from the earth the whole time, has been since
Yeah.
the earth was created. And we're just completely overlooking it all
Yeah.
and just continue to seek and seek and seek and create these synthetic versions of stuff, even though it's just right there, being grown
Mm-hmm.
straight from the earth.
It's gifts from Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, I think something like 70% of the world uses this medicine. It's not alternative. Only in countries sponsored by PFISER. Right? It's an alternative.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the world uses it.
Yep.
Just saying.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Just knowing the way that society is, knowing how there can be, kind of fabricated products out there that have also been kind of tampered with and dwindled in its quality. Are there like any tips that you have or any insight on how to know the quality of what you're getting from the store? As
Yeah.
we do know that you can go to Walmart and yeah, you could purchase these things, but some of the items may be tampered with and have a very low quality to the product. Now, is there anything that you look for or anything that we can be aware of when it comes to purchasing quality products?
Yeah, I think the trick is in the packaging. I would say, not to be judgmental or whatever, but I would say that 60 to 70% really isn't worth even purchasing of things. If you go to, like, for example, Walgreens or CVS or something like that, they have a lot of selection, but sometimes they're way more synthesized than they should be, you know what I mean? Like, look for cold pressed, look for naturally grown, look for organic, look for third party tested. Truthfully, what I would do, if you don't have an option for this, I understand. I would just look for those things. As far as maybe even going to grocery stores and getting some of these herbs would be good. Like, or going to Amazon. Just look for those keywords, make sure that don't look for the cheapest price. Look for the cheapest that has the most authenticity, been third party tested or privately picked or small batches or things like that, to where they care more, they're not just passing it through. But I was going to say, if you can, it would be best to try to go find an herb shop near you. Because that way you can buy bags and bags of herbs. You know what I mean? And you'll know that that's what they've done their whole life is research where to get them and the best ones, and you know. But if that's not an option, but you can even buy herbs on Amazon too. Just look for those keywords, you know. It's also too, it's kind of like we've always been trained to look for the cheapest discount on things. Don't use that here in this situation. You know, use it more like, okay, what looks the most untampered with? You know what I mean? The wording is everything. It's all in the labels. They'll make a green label to make you think it's healthy, right? But really, it's not. Go read the back. You know, you'll be like, okay, never mind. So it's all a trick in the labels. I would suggest not going to Walmart. I would go to Amazon. I hate Amazon, but if you don't have any options like an herb shop, then you know.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that would be a good question for the collective because I know from my own experiences, you know, there's been a lot of tamper with products that I've come across that, you know, have been portrayed to be high quality and organic of the product and basically does nothing when I take it. So
Yeah.
just wanted to shine some light on that for sure.
Yeah. Like for example, I have a couple of spices here I can show you. Like for example, this could be used in theory. Sage is on my list here. I never finished my list, but it's antiviral. You can use it on turkey if you eat turkey. If you eat vegetables, you can put in vegetables, but it's antiviral. And you can find it in your spice cabinet again, like the cayenne. You know, but the key is to look at the ingredients. Like, there's a thing out recently that, thank goodness it came out, but I knew this previously, but like things like McCormick, they put silicone dioxide, you know, all these little fillers that they say help prevent caking. Well, this has no fillers and it's not caking. It's fine. So is this one. This one's 100% cayenne pepper. There's no caking. So just make sure to read your labels. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, they play tricks. As far as turmeric goes, I take this and I buy mine from an herb shop, so it has been verified. Because turmeric and ginger and things like that have a high propensity for like lead or toxins if not treated or taken care of properly. So just make sure to do your research on if it's, you know, if you can trace back a little bit where you can see that it's been taken care of, it should be safe to buy. If it's like a mainstream brand that they just all day long, no, they're going to buy the cheapest product possible and put it in that bottle for you. So don't do that. Like Nature's Made or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can continue on with your list or whatever you feel called to do.
Do we have any questions?
No questions
It's a lot
so
of
far.
information, so you know, we could talk about it. Holy basil is next up on my list here. I love holy basil. It's amazing. Have you ever used it?
I think I've like came across it and used it once.
Oh.
It's not something I've really had to use much.
I love it. I love making a tea out of it. It has like a unique peppery flavor. But if you drink it, like say for example, I drank it every 2 weeks or for 2 weeks, every day when I came home from work, I would come home, sit down, have a nice iced herbal tea, right? Man, at 2 weeks, I kind of felt centered and balanced and like my emotions were kind of even keel. It was really cool. It was
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's an adaptogen.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going over now?
It's so cool how they can affect you and help you feel so nice. you know. In my opinion, it's time is now to get these chemicals out of our body, you know, get our body cleaner, work on it, you know, do your best day by day, week by week to help detoxify. You know, some people say to me, oh, what's the point of all that? There's poisons in everything. We're just doomed. We're just screwed. That's not true. That's not true at all. They're going to keep doing their thing, yeah. But you just got to detoxify yourself a little bit here, a little bit there, and your body will thank you for it, you know? Anyway, so I just say to the doomsdayers, it's not true. They really work well. Anyway, back to the holy basil. It's an adaptogen. It's that's what I'm saying. It kind of helps you adapt to stuff. It's good for heart health, brain health. It's been called Tulsi before. Anyway, it's considered one of India's most powerful herbs, and is known as Raisanya. Raisayana. Okay, so it's known as Rasayana, or an adaptogenic herb, or Tulsi tea. An adaptogenic herb that nourishes a person to perfect health and promotes long life. This delicious tasting tea supports the adrenal glands, nervous system, cerebral circulation, and is a major antioxidant. Holy basil has been shown to lower blood sugar levels, prevent gastric ulcers, and reduce symptoms of allergies. This tonic is excellent to help relieve mental fog, treat menopausal cloudy thinking or poor memory, ADHD, ADD symptoms, and to support a person with head trauma. Drink this tea daily for 30 days and let us know how you feel. Yeah, there was a really nice blend I made with Tulsi tea. It's really nice. You know, Tulsi is really a nice herb. It's really beneficial. It's really good for kids too. And I think it's one of my ingredients in my ADHD syrup I've made for my son in the past. So it is a blend. Yeah. I made an ADHD syrup for my child of saffron, holy basil, ashwagandha, and I forgot what the last ingredient was. And it works very well. Yeah.
Do you want to speak on this a little more?
On the ADHD syrup?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, ADHD is becoming a big thing. You know, it's affecting a lot of us. In my opinion, it's because we're products of this environment. Okay? We live in a 5-second world. So, if every 5 seconds something is changing, we're trying to focus, oh. What does that look like? ADHD.
Chicken out in your yard.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, right. But so to me, it seems like more and more people are getting ADHD, and I feel, in my opinion, that's because we have so much, unfortunately, toxicity around us, and we're not defeated, but it takes a toll, right? That and the fact that we live in a very fast-paced environment, it makes everyone think they have ADHD. You know, I mean, people truly do have different degrees of it, of course, but anyway, so it's very common, and the most common thing is to put the person or child on pills, because that's pretty much what we all do for everything. But there is alternatives, you know, and me being me and wanting herbs to be the solution for everything, I decided to go do a deep dive, and I found lots of really interesting information. Saffron, we all have seen it. It's that really expensive little tiny red spice you put on top of like rice. You know, saffron. It's really expensive stuff. It, in double-blind placebo studies, several of them, PubMed did them, the NIH did them, all kinds of people out there have done studies on saffron. And so what they've done is they've compared it in a 6-week study to the 2 leading ADHD medications, methylprednisolone and I forget what they are. But saffron alone scored equally as in a capsule, taken whatever there's, it's documented, taken against these two pharmaceuticals, worked equally as well in all the participants, if not better, than their current prescribed medications. One herb alone, saffron. So when you put it together with things like a holy basil or an ashwagandha or a lemon balm or chamomile to chill into syrup, you've got the Ritalin part, and you've got the calm part, and you've got the stability part, all put together into one, you know? And that is what is in the basis of this syrup. It's saffron, holy basil, ashwagandha, and I believe it's chamomile, but I can't say for certain. I can get the recipe if you're interested, but I'm just saying, yeah. And we did it for a 6-month period, and I need to do it again, but so I rotate herbs. So 6 months I switch, so I'm going back to that rotation again, so I should be making more syrup here soon. But yes, on the past 2 times we've used this syrup, it's worked extremely well. Teachers took note. People asked me for the recipe, so indeed it does. There is options that are herbal options.
That's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
my question to you is, could people order it from you, and would you make it for them?
Yeah, sure. I totally would, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I have so many really cool things I've made. That syrup, all these different things. I've got an allergy relief on here that works really good. Yeah. I really would like to get like a little shop together or something. That'd be really cool.
I was gonna say, it sounds like somebody needs to get an Etsy shop or something up.
Yeah, perfect. Etsy, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Right. Etsy shop. That'd be cool. Well, and then I thought about it too. Sorry?
I'll be waiting.
Yeah. Well, I thought about it, right? And I thought, well, I could do that. I could do it the same way I did my current cleaning business. When I started my cleaning business, I made some flyers and picked out a logo and stuff and just put them at smoothie shops and coffee shops where people were waiting, or, like a inside lobby of a McDonald's or wherever, Pita Jungle, I don't know, wherever, where people are standing around, and then, so they grab the flyers. So I could make some flyers, and I could, some of my products. I'll look up the legalities of it all and everything, to make
And
sure.
you can even print out like your own manuals if you want to as well, with like your recipes in it for people.
Yes. That'd be cool. There's a woman I watch a lot on YouTube, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. And Stacy just did that same very thing. She did like a cool book compilation, like 100, I think, or 97 recipes and ideas, so it's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, Sarah. Just definitely do it.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool.
I'll help you promote it, and I'll definitely help network you, because I know a lot of people that are into that, and yeah, it's definitely a great avenue for that,
Yeah.
especially in this world right now.
Well, I think it'd be awesome to like have a weekly thing, like have some requests and say, hey, I want to learn more about this. Could you tell me more about it? I would love to do that. Come on and have a little session and chit chat about herbs and things, so that'd be cool.
Do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Do it. Do it. Do
Do
it.
it.
Do
Do it. Oh man, let's see. I mean, like, I don't know if we're here for any advice, but in my opinion, I think the best thing I've learned over the past 5 years, probably, from my own health and my son's journey with his ADHD, OMG. I found a couple of things that work wonders. And I also have a sleep tincture and stuff I've got for him too. Okay, but anyway, getting to the basis of everything. Back, let's say 5 years ago, when I was still trying to figure out how to go about this journey with my son, just discovering it and unraveling the layers of it, of the ADHD. I Back then I was like, psh, food doesn't make any difference as far as my son's attitude and health and mental health. Psh, whatever. That's ridiculous. Talk to the hand. Hey, listen, right? I was wrong. I was wrong. Big time. When I finally decided to say, okay, I'm going to take the gluten out. I'm going to take that high fructose corn syrup out. Gluten's hard to get out, so I need to buy organic. But so when I took out the high fructose corn syrup and a few other things like colors and, fake stuff like that, I noticed a huge change in my child. Oops, sorry. So what we do is, like in a smoothie in the morning, he loves smoothies. I put one of these biomedics in there, and it's just a capsule, and I just dump it in there, and there's no flavor to it. And it helps take the glyphosate out of the gut, and it also helps to reset the gut biome. And I never thought that just doing this alone, you could even put it into a yogurt, cashew milk, cashew yogurt, whatever, cow milk yogurt, whatever you want to do, whatever your kid eats, pudding, put this in there, or even half of it, whatever, okay? And you're going to notice a significant difference. It helps with their control. They're still developing, but it helps to give it some grounding and some center. So the basis of it is, your gut. How much of your immune system revolves around your gut and your brain health and stuff, right? It all has to work together. And then amino acids and trace minerals are very important. The building blocks of your cells and atoms are very important to start with. I didn't think a lot of this mattered. I thought, okay, you just take something basically. I didn't really think about it. I just kind of was under the notion that when something arises, you just take something and then to get rid of it. But I didn't really understand that taking these things every now and again would truly help that much, but they totally do. This is what I would say to everybody, even myself. If I take vitamin D, and K or whatever, and then these, and get my gut right with this, I don't have any depression. I don't have any mania. I'm just even keel. So I'm telling you, it really does work. If you can get the basis of your body, and don't look at it like it's overwhelming and oh my God, I can't afford that. Well, there's places like this company, Imperium. If you can afford $5 a day, okay, buy your coffee and buy some really good coffee and have it at home. And don't go spend 10 at the coffee shop every day. Put 5 in a jar for your health and 5 for that awesome coffee and creamer you bought for yourself at the house. You can compromise. You can still have your awesome coffee and you can still have your health. You just have to be wise in what you do. And so these are the most important things I've learned over the past 5 years, is to put the little bit extra that I have into my body because it'll pay me back tenfold,
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good wisdom to share. And I found that continuously investing in myself and my well-being has created a great cycle of support in many different ways. And there's always ways to be able to shift just a little bit our spending and to be able to see exactly, okay, maybe I don't have to spend in this area as much, or maybe I don't need to go buy extra clothes all the time when it's on sale, or maybe I don't need to go out to eat a few times a week. Maybe I could start cooking at home more. These are all small, simple ways of really seeing where we can kind of budget a little bit more and invest in things that we want to start prioritizing for ourselves.
Well, yeah, and you know what? A tip on that, to dive deeper into that I've kind of given to myself, is like, okay, so nobody's saying like drop all your food and go eat kale and nuts the rest of your life. It's all baby steps. It's all a process, right? You know what I mean? Like, of course, ultimately you'd want to get to somewhere like that, but that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that in the beginning, if you're interested in taking a change in your life, having a change in your life, you could start with something like this. Putting some decent nutrients into your body. You don't need to go spend $500, $100, whatever. You can DM me and I can help you with that. But I'm saying, like, there's options that are affordable, you know? And just start there, you know? And maybe say you drink Coke and you barely drink any water. Okay, that's cool. I was the same. Trust me. Been there. Have 2 t-shirts and a postcard. Okay? So it's a process. No one's saying dump out all your soda right now and only drink water for the rest of your life. No one's saying that. Right?
I did.
I mean, yes.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, like, baby steps. That way you know you'll succeed. There's too much pressure otherwise, you know?
Absolutely.
And so, let's say you have 2 a day. Okay? Whatever size, whatever. Okay? Start with having 1 a day, 3 times a week. That's not much difference. That's only 3 half days where you have to be like, okay, something else besides. What I found worked for me? Sweet tea. It gives you the caffeine. There isn't any bubbles, but it gives you the flavor, the caffeine, and the sugar. The point is to start getting away from the high fructose corn syrup slowly. So your body's like, I need some of that. Right? Just slowly. Just slowly. And then 4 days a week, you'll only have 1. And then it turns into 5 days a week, you're only having 1 versus 2. Do it over a period of a month or 2. You've been drinking it for how many years? So why, you know, right? Give yourself a chance to succeed in your mission, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's the advice I'd give to anybody, you know, is just to give yourself a chance and take it slow, you know?
And you have carbonated sparkling water as well, which is also a good alternative.
I have an amazing, oh my gosh. I have a bottle I could go find and show you, but I think it's a GT's brand, and it says cola, and it's like a totally natural, oh, I should get the bottle and show you guys. It's like a mushroom elixir. They are so good. That is my newest treat to myself.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't drink soda.
That sounds...
They are so good. I should go with the bottle and show you. But you can find them anywhere where you can find decent drinks or something. But they're bottled already. There's like 5 different flavors. There's green matcha, there's root beer, there's cola, there's like a citrus one and a ginger one or something like that. And
I love that.
oh my gosh, it is so yummy. I highly recommend them. I should seriously go get the bottle so I can show you guys. But GT's brand, and I think it's called, I want to say Alive or something. Functional mushroom elixir. Oh,
Wow.
it's so yummy. Yeah, it's the real taste of cola. It's got the fizz. It has the carbonation. You really feel like you're having a soda, you know? So it's cool. There's so many cool new options out there that you can slowly ease your way into, you know?
There's like a prebiotic sodas out there and stuff now too. The little cans.
Lollipops?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome. I give my kid those. Yeah. Yeah, I love them. They're good. He likes that Dr. Goodwin one, the Dr. Pepper flavored one.
Oh, yep. That's actually what I had, the Dr. Pepper one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Huh?
Yep.
Yep.
So just to let you know, we have probably about maybe 5 minutes or so, 5 to 7 minutes until we need to close out because I have a 2-hour limit when it comes to my editing.
Okay, well, all right, everybody that's in the audience, do you guys have any questions?
Any final questions at all? And if you have any questions in the future, you guys can always reach out to Sara and ask questions, along with myself, of course. And Sara, for everybody out there, where all can they reach you and connect with you if they have questions or would like to maybe perhaps even purchase products from you?
Well, just right here on Instagram would be easy. If you want to DM me, we can chit chat for a minute, and if you're in the States, I can give you my number, and we can chat like that if you want. But here on Instagram would probably be the easiest.
Okay. And what about for like, the people out there on the YouTube channel that don't have an Instagram? Is there anywhere else?
Well, yeah, it's a work email for my business, but that would work too.
Okay. Yeah. Email.
Yeah. So, let's see, it's, let me just double check. I think it's, hold on one second here. I think it's info, but hold on. No, it's, okay, it's TLC dash cleaning dash services at proton.me.
Proton.me. Okay.
It's Proton Mail, yeah.
How,
And you can reach me there if you can't find me on social media.
awesome. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that in the description on the YouTube channel.
I still got 2 more pages of stuff to talk about, Marcus.
Oh, wow. Well, it looks like we're going to have a part 2
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
a lot more because there's a lot of things to touch on, and this was just like a good opening up, and really starting to scratch the surface for the collective to become aware of. And I feel like we definitely delivered a lot of good, potent knowledge and information. And I trust that, it's just enough for this space to allow people to really, process and integrate and really start considering some things about their path and their holistic way of living. And we can continue to build off of it with more lives and other spaces as well.
Yeah. I would to say for sure to get one, even just go buy this and have it in your house for anybody who might get the sniffles this coming up season. Try it. You'll love it. You'll be like, oh, it does work. Oh my gosh. Yep. Sure does.
Oh, here's a question. A final question for you is, what's one of your go-tos or one of your biggest herbs when it comes to detoxing and cleansing?
Okay. So whenever you, I was taught that whenever you have a sickness or illness or dysfunction or disease or whatever, something's going on, the first place you want to look to is your liver or your kidney. Something's backing up. It's just not, purifying, right? So, I will show you what I've got right now. I've got a whole bunch of herbs over here. Okay, well, I would definitely do a dandelion leaf or root. So, dandelion leaf is good for the liver, and it helps produce glutathione in your liver, which is your master antioxidant. And so, the controversy, the root is better for the kidney, but they both work together, and they both work well for either one. But one's, a little potent for each, But what I would do probably is use red clover. And they grow in people's gardens or yards everywhere. There's white clover, there's red clover, like pink color, And it's in your grass, and people call it weeds. You can see that. Can you see that? Or is it too blurry?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's a sweet flavor tea. So just make, some of this. Now, what I would do as far as a tea, or you could even do something like this. You could go to an herbal shop, and you could just go look at their pre-made blends. Here's one from Desert Sage Herbs called lymphatic tea. So you're going to want to cleanse your liver, kidneys, and lymph system, because those are all your ways of, excreting things. And so therefore, if you help that along, it's just going to help your body naturally clean itself out.
Absorption of nutrients as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And they do have things like nutritive type herbs. There's, adaptogenic herbs. There's nervine type herbs. Adaptogens kind of help your body adapt to stuff. Nervines are for the nerves, calm you down, chill you out, or the opposite, they could race you up. But there's also nutritive herbs too. And like this is one called a horsetail herb. It's really delicious. It's a soft flavor. It's almost like grass. But you put some honey in there, whatever, some lemon, it's fine. And this here horsetail herb helps to get rid of metals in the body, but it also replaces 92 minerals, I think, 80 some minerals. I can look up the exact number.
Wow.
So basically, you would just take and you would steep this for a little bit longer to pull out all those nutrients out of it versus 20 minutes. You'd probably do 45 minutes or something like that.
Wow, okay.
So there's a lot of different things you can do. Have a cup of tea at night while you're winding down, doing your thing. That's why I loved having that Tulsi tea, because I felt like it just helped me, helped me kind of unwind.
Yeah.
Instead of having a beer. Because I'll be honest, I love a beer as much as the next person. But I don't love the vibration it puts me in. I don't love the next day. I don't love all the toxicity that comes with it.
Yeah.
So, as much as I say I love it, right? An organic beer is awesome. But a tea is much... Sure, I don't get the feeling. I just get the feeling. So, but that's okay. That's all right.
Exactly what we're really going for.
Yeah.
When it comes down.
We've all been... I got rid of my massive program, personally, that said that I had to do that, right? I'm not judging, I'm just saying. So, yeah, anyway, that's why I loved having, like, the Tulsi tea or whatever when I get home from work. It's awesome. So you can do one of these teas in theory,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out before it gets too close to the 2 hours, so I can make sure we get the whole thing on the episode, of course. So, Sara, thank you for joining on this Rising with Rob and sharing your knowledge and your tips regarding herbal remedies. And yeah, definitely want to have a part 2 pretty soon, and we can talk about that for sure.
Yeah, I can totally, I shouldn't even say that. I can totally believe I've been talking for 2 hours.
It's been fun.
Anyway, guys, I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. I hope you had written all that down.
All right, so everybody, you guys can access this replay here on Sacred Light 33 on Instagram, and you can also watch it in full on the YouTube edition later today on Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. Sara Broadhead was our royal guest today, talking about herbal remedies and creating your own at home. And